your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband. Tell me what's your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband.
What's up, guys? Keyshawn Uchiha here, back at you with another part to an Oten Universe video. This will be part 3 of what if Naruto had a young Dairy done dojutsu? Yeah, dojutsu. Sorry, my bad. Dojutsu. Yeah, sorry about that, but young Dairy dojutsu. Pretty much, if you haven't watched part 1 and 2, please, I recommend watching the remake of that, and then you will understand what's happening. But this will be part 3. And yeah, let's get to it. So where we last left off, I'm not gonna go into depth of the recap, but we last left off with Naruto pretty much getting all the clans, getting all the clans, clans dojutsus as their running, like their Hyuga, so far so forth, and Orochimaru including adding extra more from around the world. So Naruto is pretty fucking dangerous. I would list them down, but I will just list them down later on. But pretty much, let's continue. This is where we left off with Naruto pretty much at doing missions. So yeah, let's get to that. So Naruto is pretty much doing missions and stuff, and he's doing the lowest mission stuff. This is where he kind of gets bored and decided to get some tattoos on him. This is where Sasuke is asking Naruto, what's he gonna do after this mission, which Naruto's saying he's gonna get some rip tattoos and pretty much starts going. Now, as he starts going, this is where he starts to find a tattoo artist, and this is where a tattoo artist is pretty much looking at him and saying, "Oh, Naruto, how you doing?" Which Naruto's saying, nothing much, just trying to get some tattoos. Which this is where the tattoo artist is a female, and she's saying, "Oh, so you want what kind of tattoo?" Which she's pretty much coming up close to him in his face, which Naruto's saying, a unique tattoo, something quite cool and badass, which she pretty much says, "Okay, I got the perfect tattoos for you." Which this is where Naruto's is pretty much is sitting on a chair, and he pretty much saying that does she have anything for him to smoke, which pretty much this is where she gives him don't tell no one this, alright guys? I'm only gonna say this once in the video. A blunt. Now this is where he is smoking a nice good joint, and he's pretty much getting tattoos on him and stuff. And he's getting unique fire tattoos on the chest. And he gets a fox on his back. Actually no, he gets a dragon on his back while he gets a fox on the side of his chest. And he just basically is getting tattoos, like some fire ass tattoos and shit. And this is where, after he's done, he pretty much about to give her some money, which she pretty much stops him and says, "Oh, this is a special treatment. In return, I want something quite nice from you," which Naruto is pretty much knowing what she's talking about, and they pretty much, what I mean. They pretty much done the sauce. They pretty much had sex. Now after that, Naruto pretty much walks out the shop, and he's pretty much feeling all tied up, feels like he's the shit, and he starts going straight to his house. But before he goes straight to his house, he goes to a piercing shop, and he gets piercing, just get some piercing on his ears, because he's trying to look fresh. He ain't trying to look like a bum. And the piercing person gives him some free piercings, and he starts going. Now, after that, this is where Naruto is pretty much going inside his house, and he sleeps and wakes up the next day. Now, this is where Naruto goes to Orochimaru and pretty much asks for Orochimaru for a higher mission for him and his team, which Orochimaru agrees with him and gives him a sea mission. Which this is where the protect Tazuna. Now, this is where Tazuna comes in and looks at Naruto, looks at Sasuke and Naruto, and also Sakura. Now, he's about to say something rude until he just says, "Is this the team that's going to protect me?" Which Naruto walks forward and says, "Of course, believe our asses, we're going to protect your ass and get you there safe so we can get that paper," which pretty much Tazuna is laughing a little bit, saying, "I like this kid. Alright, you better keep my head on live," which Naruto says, "You bet your ass I will." Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much gets packing and stuff, and they start going. Now, as they're going, this is where Naruto can sense, uses one of the abilities from the Hyugas. Well, uses the sensory ability from the Hyuga, and pretty much sense that, there's two enemies in the water, which Naruto tells Sasuke and Sakura to get prepared, which Sakura is saying, alright, and Sasuke's getting prepared, which Kakashi notices and impressed of Naruto's leadership, and sees the two demon brothers jumps out and try to attack them. This is where Naruto and Sasuke jumps in. Actually, no, Naruto and Sakura jumps in and pretty much dispatch the two demon brothers, which Kakashi is impressed of Sakura work of her doing that, and also Naruto. This is where they continue going, and Naruto instantly can sense two people ahead and telling everybody to get ready, including tell Kakashi to get ready too, and get his Sharingan out because this might be an intense fight. Which Kakashi listens to Naruto and doesn't pull out his Sharingan out yet, but he gets ready to. This is where the flying sword comes in, and Kakashi tells everybody to duck. Everybody's ducks, and this is where Zabuza appears. Sorry, this is where female Zabuza appears, which she pretty much looks at everybody, and she especially looks at Naruto, and she instantly falls for him because of Naruto eyes, the yandere dojutsu eyes. Now, this is where she's getting a little bit wet, and she pretty much saying, "I am Zabuza of the hidden rain and hidden miss, I think. Yeah, and pretty much she explains who she's after, and pretty much points at Tazuna, and this is where Kakashi pretty much is not going to allow that, and she pretty much wants to have a fight with Kakashi, and pretty much they have their fight with each other. Now, as they're fighting with each other, this is where, of course, Kakashi gets caught in the water, get caught by the water prison, and pretty much Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto has to work together to get pretty much Kakashi out of it. Now, as they're doing that, this is where Naruto pretty much is telling Sakura to stay behind and protect Hanzo, while him and Sasuke work together to get Kakashi get out of this predicament. Now, as this happened, this is where pretty much Naruto is charging at Zabuza, throwing kunais, which Zabuza is just dodging the kunais. This is where Naruto charges forward, which Zabuza is about to throw a swing at Naruto, but she doesn't. Like I said, Naruto has that capability of having people not not hurt him because they're under his, you could say, dojutsu. So pretty much she just kicks him away, not hard, but kicks him away, which Naruto is trying to figure out why is he not getting hit hard or not feeling any pain. Which, like I said, since he has a little bit of a cocky ego, he thinks that he's just really strong. But pretty much this is where he starts smiling and saying, "Is that all you got?" But she pretty much is smiling and saying, "Oh please," which this is where Sasuke appears and shoots two fireballs at Zabuza, which female Zabuza has to jumps away, and pretty much, which her first clone gets dispatched, while the second clone, she has to jumps away, and pretty much this is where Kakashi lets go and saying that he's about to go all out now. This is where the same thing happens original canon, but pretty much this is where Haku comes in. Female Haku comes in with the clutch, and pretty much uh gets Zabuza out of there, saying that she's an assassin to get him out of there, which Naruto says that they were working together, but pretty much that they're going to have to fight them later on. Now, as they're going, this is where Naruto, this is where Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura and Kakashi heads to Tazuna house, and Naruto begins to change his outfit, and his outfit is going to be like this with the hoodie and the shirt, and he's going to be wearing sunshades to pretty much cover up his eyes so people can't see it. Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much. Oh, and he will have a bandage on his nose. Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much walking out and saying, "All right, is everybody ready?" Which pretty much Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi looks at Naruto's new fit and saying, "Is this a new outfit?" Which Naruto's saying, "Yeah." "You like my drip?" Which they pretty much say it actually looks cool. Which Sakura is praising Naruto, saying that it looks beautiful and which looks sexy on him. Which Naruto's saying, all right, it's time to get training." Which Kakashi begins to start training Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura how to tree walk and chakra control. Naruto instantly gets the down because, like I said, he has a more freely boost. Like, he has a more freely usage of his chakra. Like, he has 100% full chakra control. I know what y'all thinking. 100%? That's pretty crazy. Like, and I know what y'all thinking. Yes, that is crazy, but yeah, he has that 100% pure chakra control. And he's pretty much that nigga. Like, he can pretty much make chakra based weapons, like a scythe, a baseball bat. Yeah, that's how powerful he is. But let's continue. This is where Naruto is pretty much saying he's gonna go take a break, and he pretty much goes to the trees and go lay under the tree while he's sleeping. This is where he hears noise and pretty much sees Haku, and pretty much him and Haku has a talk with each other. This is where Haku pretty much talking about protecting the ones she loves and stuff and all that. And Naruto pretty much tells Haku that he would see her on the bridge, but she pretty much says how did he know about her identity? Which Naruto says that he has a unique sense to sense people chakra, and her chakra is pretty much the same that when she got Zabuza, which Naruto pretty much is walking away. Now, everything happens as original canon with the bridge fight and stuff, and Naruto coming in late because he was and I'm gonna make this is because Naruto was we're just gonna say having sex with the bridge builder daughter, so you could say that. But pretty much this is where Naruto's saying sorry he's late. He was kind of occupied. Little Sasuke is pretty much fighting with Haku and pretty much gets trapped in the ice mirror. This is where Naruto pretty much goes and follows Sasuke in the ice mirrors and pretty much go helps him out while Sakura stays behind to protect Tazuna, while Kakashi is pretty much fighting with uh female Zabuza. Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much dodging some of the ice symbol needles, but Sasuke can't dodge it because he's a little bit more injured. And Naruto begins to help out Sasuke while blocking some of them, but getting hit by some of them. Which Haku is trying her best not to like hurt Naruto, so she like misses some of them and stuff. This is where this is where well no well kinda actually no Haku is pretty much still aiming because she didn't see Naruto eyes. So yeah, she's pretty much shooting symbol needles at both of them real hard. This is where Naruto is pretty much saying, "We got to work together, Sasuke," which Sasuke does a nod, and pretty much they both do a hand style and says fireball, fireball jutsu, while Naruto does giant fireball, great giant fall. Actually, no, fire phoenix jutsu and shoots at the mirrors, pretty much melting half of the side, but pretty much it just regrow back real quick. This is where Haku knows that Naruto's a big threat and starts to shoot a lot of symbol needles at Naruto to try to hit a killing blow. This is where Sasuke instantly jumps in the way, like the original canon, and gets hit by all the symbol needles. As that happening, this is where Naruto asks Sasuke why did he do it? Why did he defend him? Which this is where Sasuke says he doesn't know, but he says maybe because we're friends, which this is where Naruto begins to get mad and saying, "You really have to hurt my nigga?" Which this is where he starts to get like furious and turn into the zero tail cloak of the Jinchuriki or the one tail cloak of the yeah, we're just gonna say two tail cloak of Jinchuriki. And he begins to pretty much his chakra is not like red but black, like dark black, kind of like the eye, like right there. It's like black covering around him, and his eyes begins to turn into a sharp paper like state, and his eyes is like red with the whole hypnotizing thing, and his glasses is pretty much like broken, and he pretty much has them fall off, like he takes them off and lays them on the ground, and his hair begins to turn white, and this is where he pretty much says that he's gonna beat the shit out of her. This is where he charges at Haku, catching her from, like, how can I say, going inside the ice mirror. I know, pretty crazy, but pretty much he goes inside the ice mirror and pretty much starts to grab Haku out the ice mirror and starts to absolutely catching hands with her. Like he's like uppercutting her, punching her in the stomach, left, right, like using combos on her ass. And this is where he pretty much slams her down on the ground and forms a Rasengan, a black ball Rasengan, and and charges straight down at Haku and hits her in the stomach with a Rasengan, pretty much like making her pass out. As that happened, this is where Naruto pretty much runs to Sasuke and asks if he's alright, and pretty much telling him to wake up. He can't die on him, which this is where Naruto pretty much cuts his hand a little bit and gives Naruto some of his blood. Pretty much just giving him his regeneration of healing ability. Because keep in mind, Orochimaru had Karen, Karen, and she has that unique property to have her blood to be a healing thing. This is where Sasuke pretty much bites Naruto in the hand and pretty much starts drinking some of his blood and getting heals off of it, which Naruto is pretty much saying, "All right," and he asks Sasuke if he's all right, which Sasuke is a little bit blushing and saying, "Yeah, he's all right." This is where Naruto pretty much is getting up and pretty much sees Haku pretty much knocked out, and this is where Kakashi is going for the killing blow at Zabuza. This is where Naruto can see the future a little bit because his yandere has the property of seeing in the future a tiny bit, and he sees what Haku's about to do and begins to start running at Kakashi. This is where Kakashi goes and about to do the lightning blade until Haku jumps in the way, and she thinks she's about to take the blow until Naruto jumps in the way and takes the blow hit, which Kakashi realizes what he just done and begins to start having past post-trauma memories of what he did to Ren, which this is where Naruto takes it out and pretty much says, "Damn it, you really had to ruin my drip," which Kakashi says, "Naruto, you alright?" Which Naruto says, "Yeah, I have a little bit more of a regenerate capability. If I didn't, I wouldn't jump in the way," which this is where Naruto yells at Haku and Zabuza saying that making the whole same speech and stuff and pretty much giving them that Naruto talk no jutsu speech. Now, as that's happening, this is where I forgot that guy's name, but pretty much his henchmen and all goons come out, and this is where Naruto says that he got this, and he pretty much jumps in the air and does a handstand saying "Wild Style, Water Tsunami Jutsu," and pretty much just destroy the whole group with the Water Tsunami, and the bridge be named the Great Naruto Bridge. Now, this is where Naruto is about to go until Zabuza, Zabuza asks Naruto, can they come to Hidden Leaf Village because they have nowhere else to go and they're just gonna keep getting chased after by the clan, which Naruto agrees and asks Kakashi, which Kakashi says it's gonna take a little paperwork, but yeah, they can come. Which Naruto's excited and they all start going back. Now, as they're going back, this is where Naruto is pretty much getting another shades from because the Bridge Brother built him another shades that has like strong glass that doesn't break. Like strong. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I just didn't want to have you listen to a baby crying, but let's continue. Pretty much this is where they head back and what should I say? Yeah, the Bridge Builder. He basically remake Naruto Glass's thing, but much stronger. He makes it with the strongest glass like this top tier strong glass that can't break. Which this is where he shows Naruto about his shades, and pretty much he sees that the shades is not like can't hardly break anything, and with him hitting it with like a jutsu, which he has like someone to use a jutsu on it. Pretty much it doesn't break, and the glass is quite powerful. Which he says, "Damn, thanks, old man." Which the old man pretty much does a little smile and says, "Hey, no mention it. It's a gift for me, for you protecting my life." Which Naruto says, "Nice." Now, this is as he's about to go. They pretty much give Naruto a new drip, and it's pretty much the same attire, which just better fitted. Which Naruto starts going. Now, as they're going back, this is where as they're going back, they pretty much make it back to the village, and pretty much Orochimaru sees the two newcomers, and pretty much looks at Haku and sees And Haku already knows Orochimaru, and is Zabuza. They know of him because Orochimaru already paid Zabuza a lot of money to have Haku's DNA, to take some of Haku DNA, and he injected it into Naruto. Which this is where he says, "Ah, hello," acting like he doesn't know them, but they know each other. Which this is where he tells Naruto, uh, well, you could say Naruto to stay back while the rest of them go. Now, as Naruto's about to say something, this is where Orochimaru explains the whole situation of he already knows them, and he paid them to have the DNA that he has inside of him, which he says, huh, so that's why I can hop in that mirror and take her out, which Orochimaru says, what? Which he was pretty much explaining about the fight and how he can do that, which he says, if that is correct, that means you have the same Kinkai as her, which this is where Naruto is saying, interesting. Which this is where Orochimaru suggests for Naruto to train with Haku and to see if he can do the same things too, and maybe instead to make it a more unique version and better versions. Which Naruto agrees on that, and also Haku, and they pretty much begins to start going. Now, this is where I said the next day, and they're training. Haku is training, and also Zabuza is training Naruto. This is where Naruto is pretty much learning how to use the Ice Kinky Kenkai, or Ice Release, and he's pretty much making like a red ice, no, a black ice wolf, and black ice mirrors and stuff, and pretty much he's just making ice dragons, and he's using it quite well. This is where Naruto, as he's using a little bit more chakra, this is where he realized that he has to have sex soon, or he's going to go into a sex frenzy and starts fucking everything. This is where he pretty much goes up to Haku. Well, pretty much goes up to Haku and asks Haku to pretty much to have sex with her, which Haku at first is blushing and looking down, which Naruto's saying, if you don't want to, you don't have to, which she pretty much looks at him and says she wants to do it, which Naruto says, okay. And it pretty much heads to the house. Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much having sex with Haku and pretty much done nut the sauce, you could say, in the vagina. As he's doing that, this is where he gets back dressed and pretty much heads to his team. Now, as he's headed to his team, this is where Kakashi tells him that the Chunin exams is pretty much coming up soon and asks them, will they want to become, it's pretty much happening, pretty much like tomorrow, and asks, would they like to become Chunins, which this is where Naruto says yes, and Sasuke and Sakura. And pretty much he gives them a quiz, which they all pass it, and pretty much says, alright. Now, the next day, this is where they go do the thing, and they head up, which they already passed the first one because they already see the illusion, and they reach up to the second floor. This is where they meet up with the other teams, and this is where Rock Lee walks up to Sasuke, challenging Sasuke to a fight to pretty much say, pretty much he does the same thing as original canon, saying that he wants to fight for Sakura's love and stuff, which Sasuke just pats him off and says that he doesn't want to fight with him, which this is where, damn it, my bad, Rock Lee pretty much says that he can use any dojutsu or anything, which Sasuke finally agrees and gets his ass whooped as original canon. This is where Naruto, of course, comes in and says that he's going to be the one who's challenging him second, which this is where Rock Lee is a little bit blushing. Like I said, he's already caught under the thing, and he pretty much is hesitating to fight Naruto. This is where Naruto says that he better give him all he got, which this is where Rock Lee says, alright, and pretty much uses his full speed at Naruto. This is where Naruto dodges one of the full speed and pretty much matching up with Rock Lee, but Rock Lee gets whooped. As Naruto's getting whooped and hit to the ground, this is where Naruto gets back up, and Rock Lee offers him a hand, which this is where Naruto grabs his hand and saying that was a good match, and maybe they can train later on and both get strong, which Rock Lee agrees and pretty much smiles, which Naruto smiles too, and they move on. Now, this is where they do the whole testing, and like I said, Naruto already got everybody under his yandere thing, harem thing. So pretty much all the girls are using, like I say this, Ino uses her jutsu on Naruto to pretty much help him out to cheat on the test by just moving his body and making him answer all the right questions. Which Naruto realized who's doing it because he knows Ino is doing that, but he pretty much lets her do it and pretty much thanks her later on. Gives her a signal doing the thumbs up saying thank you, which she pretty much blushes. Which Hina is a little bit upset and jealous because she wanted to help Naruto cheat. But let's continue. This is where we get to the Forest of Death arc. Now, it's going to be a little bit different, but not at the same time. Well, yeah, it's going to be a little different, but not at the same time. This is where everything happens the same, and they begin to start going out. Now, as they're going out, Naruto have already got the scrolls because he had his clones go out to get the scrolls, which the teams gave him the scroll because, like I said, those eyes, and he pretty much got the scrolls. Now, as he's going, this is where he goes to say he has to take a leak, and he goes to take a leak. Now, as that's happening, this is where a giant snake appears and attack Naruto. Now, as it's attacking Naruto, this is where someone else is attacking Team 7. And this will be Komaru? Kobe? Yeah, Komaru. This is where Komaru, I forgot his name, but Orochimaru's assistant, pretty much comes in, and he's pretty much hiding his identity. And he's pretty much saying that he's here to get Sasuke. Here to get Sasuke and take him somewhere, which Sasuke is not listening to him and gets into a fight stance. Now, this fight is a little bit different as Komaru is pretty much, actually no, a masked man. The masked man. Pretty much the masked man asks for Naruto to pretty much, not Naruto, asks for Sasuke to come with him. He's taking him away, which Sasuke says no, and they have a fight with each other. Now, the masked man is using his teleport abilities, and he's way event skilled than Sasuke and Sakura, so Sasuke is just getting his ass whooped. This is where the masked man shoots the fireball at Sasuke, which Sasuke shoots the fireball back at him, and pretty much cancel out each other. Now, this is where Sasuke is breathing a little bit heavily, and he's a little bit injured due to his ass getting whooped. A little bit. This is where Naruto pretty much appears and pretty much punches the masked man in his face, catching him off guard. Now, this is where the masked man gets up and says, as expected from the Nine-Tailed Cherokee, which Naruto is saying, hey, yo, who the hell you are? Who the hell are you? Which, this is where the masked man says that his name is Madara, which Sasuke is saying, Madara Uchiha? Which Sasuke is a little bit shaking, and Naruto hears about Madara, he's saying, okay, so you're Madara. Doesn't mean nothing, I'm gonna whoop your ass, which he pretty much creates like two other clones, and his other clones start doing handstands while he charges at him. Now, this is where the masked man is comboing away, re-teleporting, or just phasing through Naruto's attack, which Naruto realized there's a pattern to his thing. He has to, when he's doing stuff, when he's not doing stuff, he combos, but when he's doing something, he has to ground himself. This is where Naruto starts to use a plan to distract the masked man, which the masked man pretty much is about to grab Naruto to try and combo him away, until Naruto instantly bursts out, which the masked man realizes that it's a clone, and pretty much Naruto shoots a water dragon and an earth dragon at him, pretty much hitting the masked man. This is where the masked man is pretty much half his eyes showing, and it shows Sharingan, which he says, I'm quite surprised that you damaged me a little bit, but I should be taking my leave. And he comes away, which Naruto is saying, who the hell was that guy? And pretty much the whole team heads off, reaching first than Gar's team. So yeah, that's pretty different. But after that, this is where Naruto talks to Kakashi and telling Kakashi that Sasuke and him got attacked by got attacked by this masked man calling himself Madara, which Kakashi be a little bit alarmed about this, and pretty much goes and tells Orochimaru about this, which Orochimaru knows the masked man because how can I say this? He's a little bit of like he didn't join the Akatsuki, but he knows about the Akatsuki, and he says that he's going to have all the Anbu ninjas and to be looking out for the masked man. Now, as that's happening, this is where Naruto and the team and everybody else goes to the 1v1s around. Yeah, the symbol final rounds, you could say, and they all start fighting with you. Now we're gonna start with Kiba and Naruto. Now Kiba is pretty much ready to fight Naruto, which Naruto has decided to fight Kiba, and pretty much saying that he's gonna have his Ice Wolf fight him, while him have a one-on-one fighting with Kimaru. Which this is where Kimaru and Kiba start charging at Naruto, which this is where Naruto uses his Ice Wolf and does the same thing, does the same attack on Kimaru, and saying Fang of Fang Ice attack, which they pretty much do the same combined attack and pretty much clash at each other. But pretty much Naruto is the stronger one, and pretty much whoops Kiba ass and Kimaru ass, which he pretty much picks up Kimaru saying that was a good match, which Kimaru says yeah, and they pretty much start grinning at each other. Now, this is where all the rest of the matches are the same, and yeah. Now this is where they get their 2 weeks of training in, if I'm correct, and everybody start looking for masters. This is where Naruto is about to go train with Sasuke and Kakashi until sorry if I'm forgetting things, guys, my bad, but let me continue. Until he gets called in by Orochimaru, the Hokage. This is where Naruto is walking in and saying, "Did you call me, Lord Orochimaru?" Which pretty much Orochimaru pretty much talks to him and says that he found him a trainer, which someone wants to train him, and it's his good old friend, one of the legendary swordsmen like him, and it's oh my god, how did I forget him? Jiraiya, which pretty much Naruto says Jiraiya, one of the legendary swordsmen wants to train, which he pretty much says yeah. And he pretty much tell him where's the location he should be by a female's bathhouse doing his research, which Naruto's saying, oh, so he's a pervert. Which Orochimaru does a little smile and says, well, he's not. I mean, you have to see for yourself. Which Naruto says, alright, if you say so. And starts going. Now, as he's going, this is where Naruto sees the old man looking at the bathhouse, does a little smile and says, ha, this is some good research. Now, this is where Naruto says, are you Jiraiya Sensei? Which Jiraiya pretty much looks at Naruto and says, ah, so you must be Naruto Uzumaki. Which pretty much Jiraiya looks and says, just like Minato, I can see his willpower. Which this is where Naruto says, yeah, so I heard you was going to train me. Which pretty much Jiraiya says, dang right I'm going to train you. For first, I want to see how you can do with the summoning jutsu, which pretty much Jiraiya takes Naruto to a far location, and this is where Jiraiya does the summoning of Yamabuta, and Naruto pretty much passes that with ease, and this is where Jiraiya tells Naruto to do his summoning. Now, as he's doing his summoning, this is where Jiraiya realized this summoning is quite powerful, and says he wondered what it's going to be, until he sees that it's a golden dragon. Now, the golden dragon is pretty much up in the sky, and the clouds, like the sky is different now. Like, it's a little bit dark. It's not dark. It's like a lot of clouds around. And he realized, like, you have summoned the golden dragon, which pretty much the golden dragon is flying around, and he pretty much circled Jiraiya and Naruto, which this is where the golden dragon says, so who has summoned me? Which this is where he looks at Naruto and says, Oh, I see. So you're the one who summoned me. Now, this is where Jiraiya is about to try to talk to the Golden Dragon, saying that he didn't mean to summon him, which the Golden Dragon tells Jiraiya to silence, and he takes a good look at Naruto, saying, I like this kid. You know this kid has a long way to go. I think he would be a perfect master. Which this is where the dragon starts to fly towards Naruto and hit combines with Naruto. Which this is where Naruto is getting a master chakra boost, like a lot of chakra boost, and he's also getting fused with the dragon, so you could say. Now this is where Naruto begins to feel the full power of the dragon, and realize that, and begins to open up his eyes and realize that his eyes is a little bit different now. Instead of being those red hypnotizing thing, it's more like golden hypnotized. And also that he pretty much realized that he feels something by the side on his back, and it's pretty much of the golden dragon, and it's more like the tattoo is like looking more cooler, you could say, and more golden. This is where Naruto hears something in his mind. Well, in his mind, and pretty much the golden dragon saying that he will give him like only like 1% of his power, because he doesn't want to give him the full power yet, because his body will pretty much can't handle it. So he pretty much give him 1% of the power, which Naruto's saying all right, in which Jiraiya is extra surprised that the Golden Dragon accepted Naruto. It pretty much says that they're going to be starting their training the next day. Now this is where Naruto is start working on the Rasengan. Well, you could say Jiraiya teaches Naruto the Rasengan, which Naruto already knows the Rasengan, and shows Jiraiya that he knows it. Which Jiraiya says, okay, but you only made it with two hands. Try to make it with one hand, which Naruto is trying to do it, but it's a little bit hard. Which Jiraiya smiles and says that he's going to teach him how to make a Rasengan with one hand. Now, this is where Jiraiya teaches to does the water balloons thing, and Naruto having a little bit of a hard time to do it, but he starts getting it more quicker, and it only takes about uh, 1 week to do that. So yeah. Now the next week, Jiraiya is pretty much teaching Naruto how to pretty much focus on his seal with the chakra, with the chakra thing, which pretty much he's teaching Naruto how to pretty much get some chakra from the Nine-Tailed Shinchuriki. Now this is where Naruto is crisscrossing and goes in his mind's gate and meets up in the cage. Now Kurama pretty much looks at Naruto and pretty much says, so, which Naruto looks at Kurama and says, holy shit, so you're the Nine-Tailed Shinchuriki everybody been talking about? Which this Kurama is a female, which she pretty much says yes, and Naruto pretty much have a conversation with her, wants to know more about her. Anyway, sorry about that, guys, but let's continue. Pretty much Jiraiya, no, not Jiraiya, the Nine-Tailed Shinchuriki, she's pretty much talking to Naruto, pretty much explaining to him the Sage of Six Paths and stuff, and what he did, and also, and that her telling him about the other, Chinchurikis and stuff, and they're secretly linked, but not as like they could talk to each other from afar. And Naruto's getting all the information and saying, "Wow, so you're the cool. So that means you're the coolest one, the strongest out of all of them." Which, pretty much, she's saying, "Yeah." And this is where Naruto makes a crazy decision and says, "You know what? How about I just open up the seal?" Which she pretty much saying, "Are you sure about this, kid?" Which, pretty much, Naruto smiles and says, "Yeah, I trust you. Don't you trust me?" Which she says, "Yeah." Which this is where Naruto forcibly destroys the seal and opens up the gate. Now this is where Naruto and Chroma Link is like, let's just put it at the scale as a level 1. So this is where Naruto gets a chakra boost and realizes that he's in a cloak much earlier than usual in canon, which Jiraiya is saying, what is this? Which Naruto's saying, this is my cloak. My Jinchuriki cloak. Which Jiraiya is amazed and saying, huh. Which Naruto's saying, what, you like? Which he's saying, I'm impressed with you, Naruto. But you should go to the hotel. I gotta go do some research. Which Naruto's saying, yeah, research, and he goes to the hotel. Now, as he's at the hotel, he's pretty much laying in the bed and pretty much opening up the book and reading until he gets a knock at the door. As he's getting knocked at the door, this is where he opens it, and this is where he sees Itachi and Kisame. Now, why is Itachi there if the Uchiha clan is not massacred? Itachi decided to become a rogue ninja and become a spy for the Leaf Village for Orochimaru, which Orochimaru asks Itachi to become a rogue ninja to become a spy for the Akatsuki of the group he was about to join, but he pretty much asked Itachi to do it, which Itachi accepted it and pretty much became a rogue ninja. Which this is why Sasuke is not motivated to kill Itachi, but to find out why Itachi did it. So pretty much, let's go back. Now this is where Itachi is pretty much looking at Naruto with the Sharingan, and Naruto looks at him saying, "You got a staring problem, homie?" Which pretty much Kisame says, "Huh? Look at this kid looking all tough." Which this is where Naruto looks at him with the shade to saying, "Do you want to catch these hands?" But this is where Kisame is saying, "Huh, you little brat." Which this is where Naruto begins to start to turn blue and begins to get ready to explode until Itachi tells Kisame to get out the way, and pretty much it creates a big explosion of ice. Spikes everywhere. This is where Naruto is outside the window running away. Well, outside, pretty much running away, saying that he has to get to dry it until Kisame catches Naruto by shooting, trying to hit him with the sword. With Naruto dodges out the way with a blocking it with a kunai and getting sent back flying. This is where Naruto looks at Kisame and Itachi saying, "Huh, you almost got away from us, but we won't let it happen the second time." Which this is where Kisame is saying, "Can I cut him?" Which this is where Itachi says that we have to bring him in alive. Which this is where Naruto says, "Alright. Okay, sorry about that. But let's continue because I keep getting interrupted by my family members. So sorry, guys. But let's continue. Pretty much this is where Itachi and Itachi and Kisame is looking at Naruto, and this is where Naruto's saying that he asks the dragon Kurama, can he combine both of their chakra things together? Which this is where the dragon says yes to Naruto. He allows it, and also Kurama, she says she allows it too. And this is where Naruto combines both of them together. Now this is as he combined them together. This is where his KCM cloak form begins to start becoming not a yellow color, but a more light golden, like a golden color. Which Kisame is saying, "What the hell is this? This overflowing chakra." Which this is where his blade begins to go freakily crazy, and pretty much lashes out on him. Which he says, "What the hell, you stupid sword!" Which the sword pretty much starts flying towards Naruto, and Naruto pretty much catches it, and Naruto says, "Huh, look like your sword likes me better." And he begins to combine the chakra with the Simiha, if I'm correct, and the living blade begins to start getting bigger, and starts to get bigger and stuff. And this is where Naruto says, "Take this," and swings the Simiha with a big force, which it pretty much is like very big, and it pretty much, which this is where Kisame just barely dodge and Itachi barely dodge. But this is where Itachi gets hit by it, and Kisame slowly gets hit by it too, and they got like half of their chakra taken away. Not like a little bit, no, half of it taken away, just by a cut from the blade. And this is where Kisame and Itachi realize that half of their chakra is gone, and they're not like, this is where they realize that Naruto is just a little bit built different now, and they begin to saying that they should retreat because they don't have a lot of chakra to fight him. Which this is where Naruto's saying, "Where do you think y'all going?" Well, This is where he says, "This where do y'all think y'all niggas going?" Which he pretty much smacks Kisame in the bitch slaps him with the back of his hand, sending him flying to a tree. Which this is where Itachi is back, realizing what the hell's going on, and he realized that he's getting outmatched, and this is where Naruto is charging at Itachi until Itachi lets out the Amaterasu and set the black flames on Naruto. This is where Naruto instantly backs away and pretty much saying, "What the hell was that?" Which pretty much Itachi starts saying that is his all uh the black flames. I can't even say the name. I'm so sorry, guys, but you know, Sunra Arasu, like the black flames, and he pretty much is saying that's his black flames, and you can't really put them out. Which pretty much this is where Naruto says, "Huh? So you have it. That means I have it too." Which this is where Naruto is constantly he thinks about it and he says, "All right," and he does the same thing and says Arasu and set the black. And his flames is golden, so he set flames on Itachi robes, which Itachi instantly gets out the robes, and the robes just get like not like continual burning. No, it gets devoured. Like the flames devour the robes, which Itachi realized that he should not told him that. Which Naruto saying, "Well, look like y'all in a pickle." This is where Itachi doesn't know what to do, and Naruto's coming closer. This is where Itachi shoots a massive fireball at Naruto, which Naruto's saying, like that's gonna work on me. And Naruto shoots a massive fireball at Itachi to pretty much counter his fireball. But this is where pretty much Itachi uses a little bit of a wind style. We're just gonna say he has a wind style which he can use, but it takes a lot of his chakra. This is where he uses it and make his fireball much bigger, and pretty much Naruto has to jump out the way. This is where Itachi and Kisame gets out of there and escape, which Naruto's saying, "Damn it, they got away." Which this is where Jiraiya comes in and asks if he's alright, which asks what's going on and if he's alright. He heard a bunch of fighting and noises, which Naruto explains that Itachi and Kisame was after him and it was trying to capture him, which pretty much Jiraiya says, okay, and they pretty much go and report this to Orochimaru, which Orochimaru gets the information saying, "Alright, we gotta be on high alert. We gotta be more high alert," and he pretty much sends out two especially of his two sound ninjas to watch over Naruto so he doesn't get attacked like that again. Now, let's get to the final part of the entrance exams. Now, this is where everything's happened the same. We're going to start with the fight. We're just going to do it with a bonus and start with the fight between Neji Hyuga and Naruto. Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much holding the Kisame blade and saying that he's not going to fight him with this blade. Which which Neji is pretty much saying, "Are you petting me? Are you belittling me right now?" Which this is where Naruto's saying, "Oh no, of course I'm not believing you. I believe you're strong, but if I use this blade, I'm going to kick your ass and kill you." Which pretty much Neji is getting pissed off of what Naruto's saying. Which Naruto is saying, "It's okay, you can get mad, but I'm not going to use this weapon." And pretty much he put the weapon on the side of his back and he shrinks it down. He can shrink the weapon down, and he shrinks it down so he can move more freely more. And he says, "All right, let's go." And he pretty much starts charging after Neji. Now this is where Neji does the rotation palm technique, and Naruto pretty much just gets hit by it. But it's not really Naruto; it's a clone of Naruto, which the clone Naruto dispersed, and Naruto pretty much is right behind him, saying, "Huh? So you know that technique? Let's see if you can do this." And this is where Naruto jumps in the air, and he does all dragon styles: water dragon, earth dragon, fire dragon, and wind dragon at Neji, and trying to see what Neji would do. This is where Neji does the rotation palm technique again, but it hits. But all four of them dragons, pretty much just. Oh, sorry, and also electric dragon, and all those dragons combined, pretty much just take a lot of his chakra out his way, and also damaged him heavily. This is where Neji is still breathing heavily, standing still, trying to get his breath, and he's like, this is where Naruto's saying, should we continue or do you want to give up? Which Neji's pretty much saying, huh, don't ever think, don't underestimate us Hyugas, which Naruto's plotting his face and saying, I'm not underestimating you. I'm just saying you should really give up. Which this is where Neji charges at Naruto. This is where Naruto dodged Neji techniques and his palms of hitting his chakra points, and Naruto is just absolutely bitch-making him. He's countering him, smacking him in his face, also grabbing his finger, breaking his point fingers, and Neji is screaming. This is when Naruto pretty much stops and does a roundhouse kick, kicking Neji far and sending him to a wall. This is where Neji hits the ground, and Naruto pretty much looks at Neji and saying, "Do you give up?" Which Neji is trying to get up, but Naruto just karate chops him in the back of the neck, knocking him out. Now this is where the director says Naruto win, and everybody's cheering on and killing the Hyuga members. They knew Neji was gonna lose. Well, they kind of thought Neji would win, but they still cheered him on. This is where Naruto pretty much cut his hand and gives Neji his blood and asking if he's alright, and saying that was a good match and he can get stronger one day and he wants to fight him fight him one day again. Which Neji pretty much smiles and pretty much they shake hands. Oh, and Naruto does a speech too, so Neji doesn't be a dickhead to Hinata. Alright, this is pretty much part 3 of what if Naruto what if Naruto had a yandere dojutsu? If you like, leave a like, do all that stuff. But I'm Keisha Chia. Thanks for watching, and peace out. And also, get this up to this 40 likes, and I'll do a part 4. And I will continue this series. But other than that, peace out.
Looks like you lost another one.